You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Been a while.
Yes, it has been, Ron.
Rob Lubnau?
Lubnau.
You know something? I'm going to have to write this down and get it right. Lubnau Insurance. Lubnau Gonzalez Insurance.
Correct.
Welcome.
Thank you much.
And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate working for you. Just give me a call at 800-306-19. Hey, save the number in your phone. Just put it right there, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That number comes directly to me first. I have a great team working for us, or with us, not for us. We all just work together, but don't call me while I'm broadcasting.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
It doesn't work too well. I can't answer your phone if you're calling me in the middle of a radio broadcast. But hey, put the number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And we are celebrating today. This one here, you know something? This one makes me smile. Pretend to be a time traveler day. That's not the one. Today's National Brownie Day. Now, I'm going to just throw this out there because a lot of my family likes the brownies warm and gooey and all that. Give me the edges, right? That's, you know, Josh, we need to put a poll out today, right? Do we want the edges or soft and gooey? What was the one that the Geneva put something out this morning? I didn't even notice what it was, but it was something about gooey or middle or edge is what they say. Maybe that's, you know, they're smarter than I am. I'm just a simple guy. Middle or edge, that's our question. So if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our social channels, would you just put in there for me, middle or edge? I'm an edge guy, so just throw that in there. Let's take a look and see where that one goes. Let's see what the markets are doing this morning. That's wonderful. My phone, my screen just went to 502 bad gateway. I don't even know what 502 bad gateway means, but I think it's telling me that there's something going on there that is not pretty. And it's funny because I knew this was going on. I told Josh this morning, right? I said, we're set, we're ready, everything's up and running. And lo and behold, you know, we get this this issue comes up. So maybe the markets have been pretty volatile this morning. I've noticed that part of it. I got that going. I saw that the 10-year Treasury, they're still talking about the virus. They're still talking about the variant. So that's what where all the issues are coming from. So we're watching that. We're right in the middle of a trading range. 10-year Treasury is up 5 basis points right now to 1.52. So we're watching that. The S&P 500 is down 1.21. Let's see. Maybe while we wait for this 502, I wonder if Amazon's down again. I don't know. Market Watch is where we get our stats from, so you would think that they would know what's going on. Let's take a look at gas prices, being that I can't tell you what the markets are doing. Maybe I don't want to tell you about gas prices. So, Rob, before we went live on air, you're talking about Texas?
Yes.
$2.93.5 is gasoline in Texas. Josh, we're doing something wrong here, man. He's looking at $2.93.5. Now, I'm stuck here in California. Let's see what do we want to even know what California gas prices are doing? 468.5 is the average. I think Texas has got to be one of the lowest. Lori's at 307, so she's still doing a lot better than we are here. Cheapest gas in the land is Oklahoma. They sent us their football coach, but they still have the good gas prices. Josh, you're at 390. Weren't you down in the 380s just recently? So now you're at 390.4. Hawaii, 434.9. They're still, 10%, 8% cheaper than we are here in the formerly Golden State. Unbelievable how that can happen. Hey, the market, the Dow Jones is back on my screen again, so I can see that. Down 75 points. NASDAQ is up 36. Oil up 66 cents a barrel. We're at 72.71. Big news of the day, Pfizer. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that
I got a bad feeling about
listening to what Pfizer's CEO has to say. So they're saying that if you have the both vaccines and the booster, that you're going to be protected from Omicron. Isn't that kind of like just getting a flu shot? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, right? But the doctor that discovered Omicron in South Africa is saying it's not a big deal. It's kind of like getting the cold. But hey, you know something? Pfizer's got to get a way to make a lot of money, so maybe that's why they're wanting to vaccinate everybody a third time. Now, we don't know because we went from Delta to Omicron. Omicron, that's a big split in the Greek alphabet. So we don't know what the next variant is going to be called. There will be another variant, but you can rest assured Pfizer will say you need a fourth booster for that one. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't do anything in science. I can't even spell science, but we know that that's going to be the next issue coming up. You can read the handwriting on the wall, can't you? It's just amazing. So let's see what Apple stock is doing. I don't recommend stocks on Ron Siegel Radio, but this one here, 174.22. The last I saw, when Apple hits $182 a share, they will be the first $3 trillion company. $3 trillion. Not saying whether you should buy it or not. That's not what we do here. But $3 trillion, that's a lot of money. So that's a good, and it's up $3 today. So when you look at the market, the Dow down 70. Yes, Apple's part of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but it's up $3 a share. Might have something to do with the 10-year Treasury going up. Usually when the 10-year Treasury goes up, the NASDAQ goes down. Recently, we've seen Apple and Microsoft drop when the 10-year Treasury goes up like this. But hey, we're at 152.4 seniors. That's probably good for you if you're on a fixed income. Look at Germany. They're up 6 basis points today on their 10-year bond. 6 basis points. Now you only lose 31 basis points when you give them your money for 10 years. You don't get all your money back. Negative interest. I had somebody ask me the other day, are we heading to negative interest in the U.S.? Is there going to be a negative interest rate on their mortgages? No. What makes you think that we're going to have negative interest on mortgage? It's not going to happen. So if you're thinking that I think I'm going to wait for interest rates to go down because they're at 3.11. I bought my first house at over around 18%, something give or take along. Yes, I'm old. But 3.11, most of the companies, the average of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, NAR, saying 3.7 by the end of next year, and you think that they might go to negative interest rates? That's not going to happen. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, struggling to find a home to buy? New construction may be what's right for you. We've got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net and insurance. Do you know what the definition of insurance is? Most people think it's a right. Go look at the Bill of Rights. You're not going to see the word insurance in there. Look at the Constitution. It's not in there either. But, you know, being that I did have to study this at one point in time, I can tell you the definition of insurance. We'll talk about that with Rob when we come back. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones now down 55 points. The NASDAQ is up 40 points. The S&P 500 down 0.18. 10-year Treasury is up 5 basis points. Mortgage-backed securities are down 9 basis points, which means interest rates are up just a tick. It's not a whole lot. What's happening in the market? Why are these things happening? You can find all those numbers. They're on the super secret website, google.com. All right, so the Labor Department JOLTS report, that's the job openings report, tracks monthly change in job openings, reported at 11.03 million for the month of October, which was above expectations of 10.4 million. Last month's revised report of 10.602 million jobs. That's jobs that companies want to hire, but people are not filling. Yet we've still got less people working today than when the pandemic started. Think about that one. I know the president says that he created all these jobs, but there's still less people working today than at the start of the pandemic. Just throw that out there for you. Why is the market volatile the way it is? Well, Pfizer, now they're saying 3 vaccines to neutralize the Omicron variant. 4 vaccines for the next one, 5 vaccines after that, 6 after, and so on. Do I even want to look at what Pfizer's stock has been doing? Should we look at Pfizer's stock just to see if they've got anything going because of all this money that the government down 42 cents today? Maybe there's other people that don't believe them either. I mean, I'm probably not the only person that doesn't believe what they have to say. Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for last week, showing that overall applications increased last week. Purchase demand fell 5%. After 4 straight weeks of gains. Purchases are still down 8% on a year-over-year basis. But when we put in cash buyers, down 4%. Not a whole lot when you consider there's no inventory. Inventory down 13% year-over-year. Prices up almost 20%. Rates are about 3/8 higher than they were this time last year. Big issue is refinances. There's still a lot of refinancing going on. Why? So you can pull money out of your property and buy another one. Apartment List released their national rent report for November, showing that rents increased 0.1% for the month, but are up almost 18% year to date. 18% year to date on rents. I know the government's going to come out Friday and tell us that they're only up 2 or 3%. That means eventually the government might figure out that their numbers are a little low. We'll see how that's going to affect CPI when it comes out. So that's going to be a big issue, and that comes out on Friday. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. Insurance is our topic today. So we've talked about group health recently. We talked about some other life insurance products in the last week. Now let's talk about, what do they call it, property and casualty?
Property and casualty insurance, Ron.
So here's the issue. Rob's with us to share. Been with us before.
Yes, I have.
Been a while.
Been a few years.
So I'm going to see if I can remember this, because I did have an insurance license back in the last century. And I don't have it anymore, so I'm not licensed. I don't sell these things. I just give you a little bit of information. So basically, insurance is taking over risk. You're selling your risk to somebody else for a fee.
That's correct.
Right? So you don't have to, the insurance companies should not be mandated what they're covering.
I agree on that one too.
But, some in our society, they put these regulations out there.
Yeah.
But, I have a risk, right? If I step across the street, if I hit somebody in my car, God forbid, if I get hit by a car, all these things are risks. And in this day and age, they're expensive if they
Very
happen.
much so. Yeah.
And I have the ability to mitigate that risk.
Sell it to the insurance company.
Sell it to the insurance company.
That's right.
Right? And they're going to take a fee from me. They take the risk and my money.
Yes, they do.
And I hope that I never have to call.
That's correct. You hope you don't want to have to call, but if you have to call, you want to know it's there to protect you.
Right. And so here's the issue is, how do you know if you've got the right coverage?
You need to talk to someone that's a professional that knows what they're doing. And unfortunately, like any business, there's a lot of people out there that aren't professionals and are only willing to take your money for a fee and not help you.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah. That's right? Scary.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing is, and I heard a great line. I was on a conference call this morning, very, very early. And they used the term, and it fits because they were talking about lenders, but it fits for the insurance environment too.
Yes.
Headset agents.
Yep. You don't want a headset agent.
Right. You can go on there and think that you know what you're talking about, buy your own insurance and think that you've got the right coverage. But I saved $20. But when the time comes, what's it going to cost me?
It could cost you a lot, especially if an attorney gets a hold of it. If you get in an accident, Ron, and an attorney looks at your insurance, you may be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, because they want to. The attorneys want to go after everybody, right?
They do, and they will.
And whoever's got the deepest pockets
is going to end up paying. And sometimes people look at their insurance and they say, "Oh, I'm just going to get the cheapest thing," and they sell coverage and assume more of their risk. And then what happens is they get sued and they may not have enough insurance to cover them, and the attorney is going to take their assets.
Yeah, that's a key one. Now, I've shared many times, and again, I am not a financial advisor. I am not giving financial advice. But one of the ways that I say that you can save money on insurance is by increasing your deductible.
I agree. You increase your deductible. You can always replace something. Yeah, it may be uncomfortable, but I say that when you increase your deductible, you take on that risk. But guess what? If you're sued, an attorney is going to cause more damage to you than a fire could.
Sure.
Yeah.
So here's the scenario that I like, and I don't know if you use this or not, is set up a Roth IRA.
Yep. That's a big one.
Right? Yeah. So if you're qualified, again, I don't know if you're qualified, you got to talk to a tax person about that. But set up a Roth IRA, and if your insurance is costing you, I don't know, $200 a month, take that $200, put additional $50 into the Roth IRA.
Yep.
And next year you call Rob and you say, Rob, I've got an extra amount of money that you can do for your deductibles. That gives you an extra $50 a month, gives you $600 a year. So maybe you can go from a $500 deductible to a $1,000 deductible. Is that doable?
That's doable, and I'd even say go from $1,000 to $2,500 deductible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how often? I don't know what the stats are. What's the stats on having a claim?
A property claim is once every about 8 years is average. Liability claim is about once every 5 years on average.
So 5 years, and if we're an average individual, so 5 years at if you extra $50 a month going into the Roth IRA,
yeah,
right. So that's $600, $3,000.
Yeah.
So now I can have $3,000 sitting in the Roth IRA. I can take that out again. Talk to your CPA. I can take that out anytime I want. The earnings have to stay there, but the principal that I put in, I can take out if I have a claim and use that money for my deductible.
Yeah, yeah. And you said 5 years, that's $3,000. If you raise your deductible to $2,500, you still have a $500 cushion. A great idea. Great thing to do.
And keep doing that, right? So what's the next price break after the $2,500?
About $5,000.
Okay, so maybe you can afford that, right? And I'm just throwing that out there as a way to save some money. But how often should I be going in and calling you to do an insurance checkup?
A minimum once a year. Once a year. And you know what? You want an insurance professional that will meet with you in person, that will look at your documents. You said the headset insurance people, it doesn't work. It does not work. You want someone to look at your documents and look at exactly what you have. A good insurance professional, if they see that you're properly insured, will say, hey, stay where you're at. But if you, like me, if you see something that's sticking out and glowing at you that you're not protected, we're going to point it out to you right away.
So that's a big issue right there. Is I like the idea of being able to go in and check and see. Now, there's a lot of people that are set it and forget it.
Yes.
You know, with their insurance, their mortgage, these are all major financial issues. I'm going to check my bank statement every month, and I'm going to ignore my house forever.
Ignore your house or ignore your auto. The issue becomes, do you have enough liability insurance? And I call it an inexpensive attorney to defend you. When you buy excess liability, you're giving the insurance company the power to defend you, and it's inexpensive.
And they've got a bunch of staff attorneys that they don't even have to pay a retainer to.
That's true, and it's great. I look at it like this. You get a house, you buy house insurance. You get an auto, you buy auto insurance. You increase the liability, but get an umbrella policy too. Umbrella policies run about $600 a year right now. But would you rather pay the insurance company $600 to defend you in a lawsuit, or would you rather pay an attorney thousands of dollars to defend you in a lawsuit?
Can you get an umbrella policy if you're a renter?
You can. Yes, you can. Yeah.
And can you change if so here's a question that I get all the time. You're the professional, I'll ask it to you. What happens if I have my home insurance is impounded? I pay it with my payment. Am I able to change that ever?
Yes, you are. And that's very simple to do. We do it all the time. It's all we need is your loan information, and we work it out with your bank, and we make that change. It's very seamless and easy to do.
So if I've got a 30-year mortgage, I'm not stuck in the same insurance policy for 30 years.
No, you're not.
And I'm going to suggest you're probably not even smart to be in the same policy for 30 years because your life changes, right?
Things change.
You may have a spouse, you may have kids, you may have other assets that you're trying to protect.
Exactly. Or if you buy, toys, you buy a ATV, or you buy something that is a little riskier, or if you buy your loved one a nice diamond ring, you want to make sure that that's all covered.
I hope she's not listening right now. I'll be in serious trouble. But you're right, exactly. Yeah. So that all these things change, and I'm just going to ask you a question on our way out for the break. Are you a mind reader?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you won't know if I go and buy my wife a diamond ring, unless I call you.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. So just think about that part of the whole process. You've got to communicate with your professionals. It's just like if you decide you want a new life insurance policy, or you're changing. Right now, a lot of people I'm hearing are an open enrollment for their health insurance. Right? Maybe your health insurance, maybe your health changed over the last year. I'm suggesting maybe your assets did too. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Rob Lubnau.
Lubnau.
I'm going to write it down during the break. Lubnau. Lubnau.
Easy name to get wrong.
Easy name, and I've done it 3 times already. Struggling to find a home to buy, new construction may be an option, and the featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I am in serious trouble. Josh, we might have a big problem here today. I just saw out the window of the studio that my wife showed up. She heard Diamond ring, and she's already here. I mean, talk about that one. I don't know how that could possibly be the case, but I am in trouble. Oh, well. Let's look at the real-time real estate segment today, being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. You can also go to rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. Remind me, I'm going to talk to you about that with regard to Rob as well. Struggling to find a home to buy, new construction may be an option. No question that the financial benefits of selling a house are outstanding today. Now is truly a great time to list if you're ready to make a change. But if you do sell your house right now, you may be wondering, where will you go when you move? With so few homes available to buy right now, you might be considering building a new home as one of your options, but you may be unsure if that's the way to go. Let's compare the benefits of a newly built home versus moving into an existing one, and why working with a real estate agent throughout the process is mission critical to your success, no matter what you decide. Pros of newly built homes. First, let's look at the benefits of purchasing a newly constructed home. With a brand new home, you'll be able to, 1, create your perfect home. 2, cash in on energy efficiency. 3, minimize the need for repairs. Number 4, have brand new everything. The pros of existing homes. Let's compare those. 1, explore a wider variety of homes and floor plans. 2, join an established neighborhood. 3, enjoy mature trees and landscaping. Number 4, appreciate that lived-in charm. Choice is yours when you start your search for the perfect home. Remember that you can go either route. You just need to decide which features and benefits are most important to you. Working with the guidance of your trusted real estate advisor, they'll help you make the most informed and educated decisions so you can move into the home of your dreams. If you want the full report, just give us a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Bottom line, if you have questions about the options in your area, give me a call, 800-306-1990. And then remember what I say this all the time. If you are buying new construction, when you go visit that new construction for the very first time, don't give them your name. They're going to ask you for your name, but I'm going to suggest Mickey Mouse works well, Donald Duck works well. Why? Because the contract that the builder uses is written by an attorney for the benefit of the builder. If you go there with your realtor, and you can only do that with if they're listed as your representative, you may be using the state purchase agreement, which might be in your best interest. It might be a little bit more balanced. So make sure you take your realtor with you. Not, and like I said, I've got a real estate license. I don't use it. I'm not qualified. I've had to have it for many years, but take a realtor with you. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home. Hey, go to rsrhomedigest.com, rsrhomedigest.com. It's going to give you some great information for us to speak, for you to give a call to Rob Lubnau. Did I get it right that time?
You got it right that time.
4 is a charm. I'm hoping. So when you go to register at rsrhomedigest.com, that's going to tell you the value of your real estate. It'll also tell you how much equity you have in your real estate. You may want to have that handy when you talk to Rob about the value of your property, because if you bought your house, I'm just going to throw an issue out there. I think my parents bought their house in 1983, and I think they paid, I don't know, $300,000 for it. It has appreciated maybe $1 million or more. So coverage to rebuild a house of $300,000 versus a house of $1.3 million, is it going to change at all?
It's going to change. It'll change quite a bit.
Right. The cost of building a new home right now, it's about a 3,000 foot house. So just throw that. It's I don't know, $300 a square foot, give or take.
Yeah, that's what. Depending on the size of the house, anywhere from $250 to $350 a square foot.
Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there that, maybe you want to have that conversation before it's too late.
Yes, I agree.
Now, one of the biggies, and I'm not a fan of this, so I'll just throw it out there. I love animals. We just had to put our 16-year-old lab to rest, so it's not exciting. But Sue is our family dog, and she spent a lot of time with us at home, went to the beach and walked with us, went out on walks, didn't take her to restaurants. I see tons of dogs at restaurants.
Yeah.
And, my dog was the most friendly dog in the whole world.
Yeah. But that's deceiving.
Right, but what happens if the dog gets antagonized? Now, nobody's dog is going to ever be antagonized.
No,
right? Nobody's ever going to get in a car accident.
That's right.
No one's house is ever going to burn down.
No little kids are going to run up to your dog.
No kid, and grab their food out from in front of them or pull on their whiskers.
Right. That's not going to happen.
Is this something we can get insured for?
Yes, you can. You should. And the reason is I have dogs and I walk my dogs, and people run up to me and say, "Oh, your dog's friendly." And the first thing I do, Ron, is I pull them back and I say, "Hey, stay away." My dogs may be friendly, but the number one liability claim for homeowners is a pet bite, a pet action. And that can get very expensive.
Yeah. I just heard this story the other day, and it doesn't have a whole lot to do with our topic at hand, but I thought it was fascinating. So I have a friend that's a dog trainer, and I'm asking him, why do dogs hate postal workers? And it was total logic.
Yeah.
So dogs, basically, if they don't know who's coming up to the door, they bark and go crazy.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of just natural, right?
Yeah.
What does the postal worker do as soon as the dog starts barking? They go away.
Yeah.
So the dog is trained that, hey, I bark and go crazy. He or she goes away. I win.
Yeah. That makes
So the next time they come back, what is the dog going to do? Bark more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Postal worker goes away. It's reinforced. Never knew that until I was talking to this dog trainer. I don't know. I mean, he's a lot smarter in training dogs than me. He helped me do a great job with my dog. But I thought it was fascinating.
Very fascinating. It makes sense.
Now, open the door. What's the dog going to do? He wants to he's trying to protect his surrounding. He's trying to protect his surroundings.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe he's going to bite somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. And it does happen. And it just doesn't have to be on his property. It can be at the restaurant you mentioned.
Right.
Or it could be walking your dog on the beach. The scariest thing I see is when people take their pet off leash and let their pet just run.
But my dog listens to everybody.
Oh, well, your dog's
right?
Different. Yeah, your dog's different.
But you don't know what's going to happen when two dogs get together, and what's going to be what could be the antagonist. I know it's not the right word, but the motivation for the dog to maybe change their behavior. They see something or feel something.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a 60-pound lab, and it was always afraid of the little tiny dogs.
That's amazing.
And when we would walk along the beach, she was always on her leash, but she'd run into my legs as soon as a little tiny dog was near me and almost trip me.
Yeah. Well, what can we say? The dog was smart.
Yeah, some of those little tiny dogs are tough ones.
Yeah, they're the toughest. And they're actually the ones that cause the most damage.
Business owners, do we need is there special insurance for the business owner?
Yeah, as a business owner, one of my big sayings is you got to protect yourself not only from outside influences, but even from your within employees. Employees are not your friends; they're employees. And my wife always says, "Your employees are your friends until they leave your business." And we see this happen all the time. There's employer practices liability insurance that protects the employer from his employees once they leave, or even if they're working for him. So
I have no employees. We all work for the same company.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we see it all the time. You can make the smallest comment and somebody in these days is going to get offended about it. And what if they sue you?
Well, I'm in trouble because I make offensive comments every morning on radio, don't I, Josh? I've mastered it. In fact, Josh, I think, has a list. Okay, Ron, you haven't got the bald people this week. So I know that I have to, but I am bald, so I guess I can.
As I am too.
Follically challenged.
Yeah. Hey, there's a new term right there.
Yeah, right. So we're an equal opportunity antagonist. So it's a whole different world. Okay, so there's a lot of now. Do you need a different agent for everything?
You do not. A good agency is one that's got separate divisions that specialize in separate areas. Now, you don't want a person that specializes in personal auto insurance to insure your business. You don't want that because, there's so much, like anything, like real estate, there's many different things. But you can have one agency that's got separate divisions that specialize in each division. And that's the ideal situation.
Yeah, I had a agent I spoke with at one time. And he said it becomes very difficult for us or for the insurance company to make sure we do our job best for you if you're handling my cars and somebody else is handling my house, somebody else handling my business. There's overlaps of all of those things.
There is.
So if nobody knows the whole picture, how do we make sure that we've got the right coverage? And maybe we go back to what you were saying earlier. Is you're talking about an umbrella. Maybe that's our solution.
And that is a solution. That's one solution.
What is an umbrella? Why don't you explain? I mean, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I'm sure that's not what we're talking about.
That's a good question. An umbrella is excess liability that sits above your home and auto insurance. And it makes sure that it protects you from losing your assets to lawsuit. And it is the best inexpensive attorney that you can get. Like we said, pay the insurance company to take on the risk, and it's inexpensive.
So it's only going to cover my house and my car?
No, it's going to protect you for any unintentional act that you're involved in anywhere in the world.
So I could be driving a friend's car, and he doesn't have enough insurance on there, but my umbrella is still going to protect me.
It is going to protect you. It's going to protect you, the named insured, and your family members.
So Okay, so and my family members. So, let's talk about that when we come back. Family members and my insurance, because my youngest is 26 years old. So when we come back, I want to talk about, what do we do then? And I don't know the answer. We can also talk about, we got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Continuing our conversation with Rob Lubnau. Okay, I'm 4 out of 5. Still good if I was a baseball player.
Hey, that'd be great.
So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Ooh, excuse me. Featured home today brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. 1253 Panorama Drive. This is Big Bear. 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, beautiful cabin, Big Bear cabin. Many upgrades such as a tankless water heater, newer heating and air conditioning, roof 7 years old, bathrooms remodeled a few years ago, beautiful kitchen with granite countertops, opens to the living room with a rock fireplace, wood ceilings, Trex decking surrounds the home. Property's fenced in the backyard. The home will be sold furnished, located close to the ski resort, lake, and many local eateries. Marcy Thomas has this listing at $599,000. So look at this, 5% down financing options. Look at some of the pictures on there if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv or any of our social channels. Again, I'm not offering to sell this to you. I'm just giving you information here. $599,000, you're looking at a $2,555 monthly mortgage payment. 20% down, $2,151 is your monthly mortgage payment. 25% down, strategically $1,894 is that payment. Principal and interest payments only. You do have to add your taxes, your insurance, your snow blowers, and your shovels, and mortgage insurance if there's any needed. NMLS 217037. And look at these. APR, that's what I forgot. 3.868, 3.565, 3.227. That's a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. 1253 Panorama Drive in Big Bear. Marcy Thomas is the listing agent if you want more information. Look at that property. That's a pretty cool property. So maybe we can even talk to Rob about this one. So last time I had heard, Big Bear was a tough place to insure property.
It is really tough right now.
Okay, so
it's not impossible, and we can do it, but it is tough. I'm not gonna.
No sugarcoating here on Ron Siegel Radio.
Exactly.
So do you still need 2 policies up there?
Pretty much so. There are some companies, depending on where the home is located, that will write 1 policy. It's pretty much got to be down by the lake with no trees around it. But our backup is the California Fair Plan, and then what we call a wraparound pickup, everything else.
So there are ways, again, the headset agents may not know them, but a professional agent does know how to deal with this. So I'm just looking at the pictures. I think this one may be one of those that's not right on the lake, because I see a bunch of trees in the front yard, and I see some trees around the side. Beautiful property.
Beautiful property, I'm sure. And the problem with the insurance on it, I'd like to tell people, the only problem is be prepared for sticker shock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can do it, but sticker shock.
Exactly.
So before the break, we were talking a little bit about family members and insurance. So I've got 3 kids, 32, 30, and 26.
Okay.
One lives with me. The others do not.
Okay.
Do I need to be insured for them?
You need to be insured for the 26-year-old that still lives with you.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a household member.
Okay. So at that age, it's not a minor. Now, what if one of the other ones decide to move home?
I would name them on your policies, because now they're living in your asset and they're putting your asset at risk.
Okay. So now, is that going to, how will that affect my premiums?
Generally, on a homeowner's policy, it's not going to affect the premium. It may a little bit, generally not, depending on the insurance company. On auto policies, it may affect the premium depending on their driving record, unless they can provide proof that they have auto insurance elsewhere.
Okay. So if they're insured somewhere else, then the game changes a little bit.
It does change a little bit, but the question is, can they provide proof? And again, do they have enough insurance, liability insurance?
So when you say can they provide proof, basically they have to provide proof if they get a ticket. So that little card, is that sufficient?
That's insurance, but what we're talking about is provide proof to your insurance broker to make sure that they're insured under their policy and that won't affect your policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that for my house, or is that for my car, or for both?
For both.
Okay.
For both.
So for quite a while, my oldest was listed as excluded from my auto policies.
Yes, and that means if he goes out and gets in an accident, the insurance company is not going to pay for it. But let's say he's living at your home rent-free, Ron. He's still a house member. And any attorney that's worth his weight in gold will find a way to attach your child to your household and sue you for that.
Okay, so let's take it the next step then. What if my child is away at school?
Many times away at school, they're covered under your policy, but it's good to let your broker know that they're away at school.
Okay, so are they covered when they're away at school, or do they have to buy a new policy?
No, they're covered away at school. And if they were like me as a kid who was a little rambunctious and did things a little out of the norm and liked to get mischief, it could cause problems.
I can't imagine a youngster away at school getting in any mischief.
It happens. Very, very, very little, but it does.
Back when I was in school, there's a lot of things that we did back then that are considered major issues now. Thank goodness I'm not going to school. I went to school in the 80s, not in the 2020s.
That's when I went to school, and it's amazing things that we got away with that you can't do now.
And it's probably better today.
I think it is.
Big differences.
Yeah.
What else do I need to know about insurance? How long does it take me to get covered? And am I covered as soon as I sign the paper with you, or does it go to underwriting, or how does that work?
Generally, you're covered once the moment you hand us a payment of some kind.
Okay.
You can sign the documents, hand us a payment, we can bind the policy. That's in most cases. Some issues, like that Big Bear property, may take a little bit because it has to go through underwriting process. Underwriters want to look at things, much like a loan. It's got to go through underwriting. If it's real simple, we can tell you right away. If it's a little more complicated, we can tell you right away.
Again, it goes to the same subject that as long as you're dealing with a professional, you've looked at, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands of policies.
Yes.
Right. So you've got a good idea that I can tell you that if I know that you have to watch out for Big Bear, you know 10 times more than me.
Yeah.
Right. So are they covering Orange County now? I know in Anaheim Hills for quite a while it was tough.
Anaheim Hills is difficult. As is Rancho Santa Margarita, just anything up against the foothills, anything with what we call a hill around it, we call it a fire risk.
Interesting. So we again, you just have to know those areas. And so do you recommend people call you before they make their offer?
Very much so. And I tell many of my real estate agent friends, if they're working with a buyer, to please call their insurance broker way before they even make an offer, so we can kind of advise them on what's going on.
It's fascinating on our team. Basically, we like to make sure that that's like one of the first thing that's ever done. If the buyer doesn't have insurance when they make the offer, part of our pre-approval is, hey, are you insured? Make sure you get your agent on so that they know, especially if we're looking at properties that are in a riskier area.
Exactly.
Because again, we don't know those areas.
Yeah, and people fall in love with properties, but when it comes to insurance, they may find out that it could be in a flood zone with very expensive flood insurance, or it could be in a high fire zone with very expensive fire insurance.
So I had somebody ask me this just yesterday, and I don't know whether, I answered my way, but it's probably not the best. What are your thoughts on earthquake insurance?
I actually am a fan of earthquake insurance. Okay. When I started in the business, I wasn't as much, but the older you get and you look at your assets sitting there, if we have an earthquake and you have an older home and it knocks it off your foundation, that's your number one asset. Do you have the money to replace it? Again, it's pushing the risk off someone else.
That's an interesting concept because I do know that there was a couple of properties. Fascinating how some of these things work, but there was, when they had a flash flood out in La Quinta, one house stood through the flood and was not covered because it was not a flood zone. He didn't have flood insurance. They had just got it released from being a flood zone a year earlier. That's probably a fun thing. Yeah. House right next door burnt down. So then it became an issue. Was it the flood that caused the fire that burnt the house down, or was it the fire that destroyed the house? Fascinating, and I don't know how it ever turned out, but
well, that's a very fascinating question, but it would have been covered under the fire. The fire policy would have covered it.
Fire policy would have covered it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not recommending anything. I'm just saying that it's so interesting the way that works.
Yeah, it is. We call it cause of loss. What caused the loss? There was a flood, but really the fire caused the loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting scenario, and again, you have to have a good agent that has seen these things before.
Yeah, somebody that actually has read the contracts. Ask your broker, have you read the insurance contracts?
That's a fascinating subject because I know when we had a flood in our kitchen, that was one of the questions is, hey, have you read the contract? No, I didn't read the contract. What?
Yeah.
And you should.
You should. And I've read every contract I sell. It takes time. It's legalese. It's difficult. But read the contract. And if you're not going to read it, have a professional that has.
Every contract.
Every contract. It took me some time, but I did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's that because there's a lot to them, and again, they're all written in. Some of them are in English, but most of them are not.
No, I call it legalese.
Right. It's a whole different ball game. Yeah. Great information. I appreciate you coming in and sharing with us.
Thank you, Ron.
Get your insurance coverage checked. This is probably a good time because you probably got a little bit of downtime, right? How long does it take you to do a insurance review?
I say minimum of 24 hours. Once we get the full documents, we can look through everything. We like to go online and look at everything, but it's real time well spent. And
what do you need? The declaration page or the full contract?
We just need the declaration page, but ideally, if they have a contract, like I said, Ron, I've read them all, and if I know, many times I know the companies, I know what they're covered or not covered for, and I can point it out right away. And I keep a library of that stuff, so I can help people go through their contracts. and understand them.
Get your insurance check. Now's a good time. You probably have a little extra time. Send the insurance declaration over to Rob Lubnau. Did I get it right?
Lubnau?
Lubnau?
Close.
Got the ending right. John, we're going to have to have you come back on again so I can try and figure it out and get it right eventually.
Well, I'd like that, Ron.
Glad to have you. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.